I'm going to tell you that Nevada is one of those states who actually is, unfortunately, dealing with the repercussions of Donald Trump's rhetoric. And he continues to spew the same message of there being systemic fraud. And we actually had 6 of our state party leaders participate in what's called fake electors. And then 2 of them were actually granted limited immunity for their subpoenas. So there's something not right, obviously, going on. The fact that his misbehavior has trickled down to the point where our legislature had to pass a law making it against the law to harass poll workers and election workers just tells you enough as it is, because people think it's okay to misbehave. It's unacceptable.
What do you think we can expect today? Trump's court hearing is at about 4 p.m. Eastern time. It will be about 8 p.m., I believe, our time. He has got the option to appear via video link, but do you think we will see what we've seen before and he will appear in person?
Well, from what we're hearing, he will show up. He will not be going into jail. He may be fingerprinted, and that will probably be about it. And he'll go ahead and say, he's either guilty or not guilty, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now, the funny thing, or actually it's not even funny, but the incredible thing is, let's say worst case scenario, he was to go to jail at the end of all of this. He could still run for president and pardon himself, which is crazy.
Look, I'm intrigued at your position because you were the Republican Party chairwoman in Nevada. So what do you say to fellow Republicans who are saying this is a witch hunt? He is our savior. We do need him back.
No, and actually, I'm a former state party chair, thankfully. I'm so glad that I'm not a part of it right now, because this would be a mess. And I think the current leadership, if you want to call it that, in our state party has entangled themselves into this mess that's going to possibly, get them into a lot of trouble, even though they've been granted, immunity to some degree. I think the fact that they've been subpoenaed, I think that speaks volumes. I think the fact that, we have a new Secretary of State that has put together a nonpartisan group, which I happen to be a part of, one of 9, to try to get together and figure out how to not have this situation happen again of this nonsense. Because what they did to the prior Secretary of State, who was also a Republican, is they censured her because they didn't want her to certify the election. And so it's almost like it's a smaller degree of what Donald Trump wanted Vice President Pence to do, but at the state level. And so they all felt that was acceptable.
I mean, that sounds like out-and-out corruption.
You would think.
Amy, it is really remarkable watching and listening to this from across the pond over here that Mr. Trump is the clear frontrunner to be the Republican candidate for 2024. And these charges, these trials that we're going to see happen next year, they only seem to actually add to his popularity amongst his supporters.
Right. And he's actually probably going to get a 4th one here very soon for that phone call that he made to the Georgia Secretary of State asking for him to find more votes. And so now we're going to have somebody with not 3, but 4 indictments who's going to be possibly the nominee. And so what this does is it just continues to strengthen him